Hello, everybody. In today's video, I am going to be reading the textbook section from your Week 2 agenda. Your Week 2 agenda contains this textbook section where you need to read pages 16 and 17 on waves have measurable properties. To start with, I want you to think about how a wave can be measured. This enormous wave that you see pictured to the right moves the water high above sea level as it comes crashing through. How could you find out how high a water wave actually goes? How could you find out how fast it is traveling? In what other ways do you think a wave can be measured? We're going to read on to find out. Waves have amplitude, wavelength, and frequency. The tallest ocean wave ever recorded was measured from the deck of a ship during a storm. An officer on the ship saw a wave reach a height that was level with a point high on the ship, more than 30 meters or 100 feet. Height is a property of all waves, from ripples in a glass of water to gigantic waves at surfing beaches, and it can be measured. The speed of a water wave is another property that can be measured by finding the time it takes for one wave peak to travel a set distance. Other properties of a wave that can be measured include the time between waves and the height of a single wave. Scientists use the terms amplitude, wavelength, and frequency to refer to some commonly measured properties of all waves. Measuring the properties of waves. A crest is the highest point or peak of a wave. A trough is the lowest point or valley of a wave. Suppose you are riding on a boat in rough water. When the boat points upward and rises, it is climbing to the crest of a wave. When it points downward and sinks, the boat is falling to the trough of the wave. Amplitude is the distance between a line through the middle of a wave and a crest or trough. In an ocean wave, amplitude measures how far the wave rises above or dips below its original position or rest position. Amplitude is an important measurement because it indicates how much energy a wave is carrying. The bigger the amplitude, the more energy the wave has. Find amplitude on the diagram below. The distance from one wave crest to the very next crest is called the wavelength. Wavelength can also be measured from trough to trough. Find wavelength in the diagram below. The number of wavelengths passing a fixed point in a certain amount of time is called the frequency. The word frequent means often, so frequency measures how often one wavelength occurs. Frequency is often measured by counting the number of crests or troughs that pass by a given point in 1 second. Find frequency on the diagram below. Taking a look at this diagram, on the left we have distance above or below rest position, and then we have a line going across the center where is water level at rest, and that is also a fixed point. Number 1, amplitude, is the distance a medium moves above or below its position at rest. Number 2, the wavelength, is the distance from one crest or trough to the next. And number 3, frequency, is the number of wavelengths passing a fixed point in a certain amount of time. That will conclude our reading for this weekly agenda. If you would like to read on, feel free to do so, but you do not have to.